Welcome everybody to RGN. We've got the NA qualifiers for our Pro Series going on here, and we're in the round of 4. So it's SKDC
Oh
going up
man.
against neXup. Yeah, we're getting into deep waters here in the upper bracket. The winner of this will move on to the upper bracket finals. So plenty of excitement there. I am Sprawl, by my side, the one and only Laser Jesus, and we're live here to start things off on Cash.
When are you gonna come up with a new tagline, Shadow?
I don't know, man. Not today.
Not
We'll
today.
see. Surprise you at the next round or the next map.
Please do. That'd be great. Oh man. Next up, looking to do a quick diversion and then hit up towards the B site. Unfortunately for them, that's exactly where SKDC had stacked. Oh, but hitting all the shots sink. TJ hitting nothing but heads here as they enter in. And dropping one by one. SKDC suddenly with one remaining almost gets the nade onto the bomb site. But still gonna get that bomb down, no problem. And even though neXup hit the wrong bomb site in terms of overall strategy and how to isolate players, that was a perfect execution.
Els still looking to get something done here. Has a kit in hand. He actually found 2. But the time is definitely ticking away, and we'll see if FGB, they've got really good close blind here at foe. FGB both peeking at the same time. Nice coordination there. neXup's going to win the pistol round, so good stuff from them. And like you said, comes down more to the execution that kind of did go, again, like you were suggesting, may have been the wrong choice if you were to overview the map and be like, that's the weakness right there. But the way they executed worked out
Let
great.
me tell you something about Sync too. Like TJ, like we went to a LAN together, right? We got first, but dropped a map to United. But this guy, like he walked around a deathmatch and said, like, watch me one click. So if he is on point, he can just run around and just one tap everybody. It's absurd. But I think it takes the right like welding around him to make him that sort of person.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of star players. You need to have the right combination of people around them. Otherwise, it just doesn't work out. They can't play in the way they want to. And what is going on right now? Why is FGB... FGB is the bomb, and he is speaking towards Truck. I think he just realized that that was not the play he was supposed to make there. So, peeks around to Truck, and we'll get the bomb down now. Shinobi on to Els, so it is a 4-on-5. And at this point, I wouldn't even be against seeing the CT save, as this is
definitely
a pretty bad spot for them to retake, and they've got quite a bit of equipment invested.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why the CT should save in this scenario. Not only are they potentially donating up to $900 to the T's by attempting to retake in a situation that it's highly unlikely that success is going to be there, they're still going to have armor and these guns minorly upgraded to bring into the next round. That's going to give them a more formidable fight coming into this next. I'd like to see them execute something a little out of the ordinary to utilize these weapons to the maximum effect, and that's something we see a lot of teams not do, is trying something different just to emphasize their strengths, which is not much during the round. But if they put all 3 of these weapons plus armor in a certain location instead of playing this 2-3 setup, I think that it would yield more success for them.
Yeah, I'd have to agree there, as otherwise you're just kind of banking on the close angles, which, yeah, you might be able to get those frags, but they know that those are the angles you're looking for, and Shinobi spamming through. That was hilarious. Slemmy just had his head banged into that box there, as now Ocean, I gotta realize he's gonna be posted up as well, and he goes down, as well as Ruru, actually, at the opposite bomb site as foe, coming through Z connector. So only Stewie2K and Else left, and I'm sorry, guys, it is not going to be a B bomb site push, as they're going to need to get a move on here if they want to get anything out of this round, and I'm sure they want to get at least a frag. You do not want to let these guys get out flawlessly, as they did in the last one as well. No economic damage done so far, so Else, he's got a big task and just getting something done with this USPS, and you can see your foe jumping around like crazy, but he's just going to continue to follow him along. Hopefully
what is going
something
on?
appears.
He's looking for more. He needs to take the fight. Like, execute him now.
Oh no, he doesn't get it though. Foe ends up with a 3K, and he's got to be like, where did I not check that guy was hiding?
Somewhere in the checkers, missed a move or two.
Yeah, he did a ring around the rosy play on him. That was interesting, and didn't get the frag. That's really unfortunate, as now so much money in the bank of the T's, and we can actually see Synced and FGB, JBM as well. They're all keeping their SMGs.
This is the strat I love. This is the strat I love from neXup. This is an old school type of strat where You have enough money in your bank to guarantee, even if the results of this round don't, warrant you more success, that you're still going to have enough to buy in the next. So why not take a risk and gain even more advantage by going for some sort of unorthodox plays, Shinobi as well as Sync, both dropping one apiece coming into the bomb site. And this is amazing for neXup. They have 4 guns that they did not upgrade at all. We see no AKs on their side, but still 4 automatic weapons. And this is just fantastic for them. If SKDC don't try to retake and or save, it's just more in neXup's favor. And take a look at their economy. It's going to be out of control next round.
And Shinobi just upgraded his Galil. JBM can upgrade to the Galil that was actually dropped, and we got synced with a FAMAS. He started off with a Tech or a Mac 10.
And they should honestly be hunting too.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea at all. Don't let them have another gun round here, as they're gonna get tagged up as they try and drop into Checker. Synced, I don't think he realizes there is a player in sight. Those are where those bullets are whizzing by from, but nonetheless, 4-0. They will be able to keep 3 M4s, and that's where we will see. I imagine they're going to force up around this, drop a FAMAS or something like that to Ocean and Slemmy, get everybody equipped. That's going to be the call. And this is a big round though, as again, there's not a lot of money as they save those 3 rifles.
Heavy investment.
And, this is not good for the CT side at all. If they drop this round back in eco territory, could be 6-0 before we see them get another chance here.
They're going to try to go for a pop flash through mid. So far successful. As Elves onto Foe at mid. Now looking to continue their aggression over towards the B side. Stewie 2K does not have to take this fight. Granted, he wins it. He didn't have to. I wanted to see that go the other way so badly, because that's a decision that you can do either both aggression or passive in that scenario, but what guarantees your advantage is like passivity in that situation. But he gets a kill anyways. I look like a noob as usual, and now the rest of neXup, they want to hit the A-bomb site.
Yeah, Slemmy's going to be inside at the red box. Ocean, this one-and-done balcony spot where FGB checks it, looks away, checks it again, and kills Ocean before he can get more than 1 bullet off. Insane from FGB as Slemmy will come in and clean things up. Shinobi goes down as well. So big round there for SKDC. A must win in a lot of regards, and they do put it on the board. Slemmy's able to
look at that
grab
money,
up. Yeah, they've got so much money here on the T side that they're going to be able to buy. They've almost reached that point where we've seen it before. You reach a bank amount that you start losing rounds, and it's not until you hit like that 4th or 5th lost round that you might have to save, but you've got so much loss bonus that you still continue to buy, and there's no real pistol rounds that come in, so this is difficult for SKDC. They really need to chunk away at this economy.
Yeah, certainly. I don't think it's quite at that point where neXup can
not
just, like,
quite, I don't think.
Yeah,
it's close.
They could just be disconcerted about it, not have to worry about their economy, but this is a very important round for them. They could shatter SKDC's economy once more, and they still have at least 1 more round and potentially a force buy on top of that if they do consecutively lose them, as you were referencing, the critical mass amount of money on the T side where you can continuously force up over and over again. There's Synced. The early frag over towards the B bomb site, looking for more there. However, SKDC already have numbers in the area where they can deal with this. Now falling back is neXup, but still continuously making noise. Good decision, but smoke dissipates, Sync goes down, and SKDC still have 2 in the A-bomb site as neXup comes in.
And both players actually tunnel vision towards mid. Finally, Slemmy looks back towards A main, sees a bunch of flashbangs pop out. He's going to take first one down, FGB, as he tries to make it into sight. Shinobi in mid takes down Ro4, but Slemmy able to take down JBM. He was fully widescreen, just ramming himself into that forklift, not advised, but and he was fully blinded, and Shinobi trying to make it up highway. It's only Foe, 1v3, and it will be Ocean to end the round. So 3 players left alive, not too bad for SKDC, and they make their way through another rifle round here. So again, though, so much money on the T side. They're going to be able to buy up once again here. And the CT economy, it's made it to a point where I'm gonna wait until post buy, as I always speak way too soon. But let's see how much money they're left over with. 3,800 on Ocean. That's gonna be the richest of their players. So they're still a little bit low in economy. Would not be good for them at all to lose this round. So neXup, they can still do a lot of damage taking this round.
It puts SKDC not in, I mean, both in save territory as well as force buy potential. So they're going to be left with that decision if they do lose this one. Though neXup looking to split onto A. They're layering this really strangely for neXup. It doesn't look so decisive with their movements. It looks like they're still trying to make SKDC peak before they execute. But when you got entry fraggers like Sync, he's done this numerous times now. He's taken the first frag into the bomb site. Shinobi follows up, and Ro4 is the last player here to try to hesitate their entrance into the site. But advantage for neXup, as SKDC still want to take this fight, and they're engaging. With 3 on 4, they're not taking all at the same time though, and there we see Sync, the only player to get frags when neXup is, or when they're defending their retake. If he gets both frags following them up, that just demonstrates SKDC not executing together.
And that was the story of that round, in that they lost their player in B. Else, he tried, which a lot of players are very tempted to do. The site is just being taken, so it's not like they're already in post-plant. They're on their way in. So he tries to pop a flash in a way that should, if there's a couple running in at the right angle, they're going to get blinded. He runs through the smoke. He did blind 2, but there was about 4 staring in his direction. So he got capped immediately as he went through that smoke. And again,
50%, not the best.
It's a move that a lot of, like, you can see the merit behind, oh, you just want to try and disrupt them, because a lot of times you can do that. You see these plays where you're like, man, this guy just busts through the smoke with a flash and all of a sudden just derails their take, but that's the downside to it. If you go down, you leave your other 3 players left in a situation where they're really in a bad spot, and they ended up actually still having 2 more trying to retake after, but nonetheless.
Yeah, it's like such a momentous flash. Like, if it doesn't work, that's the round. If it does work, that's the round.
Pretty much, yep. As, wow, Slemmy, Ro4 bust into A main. And I got a feeling that neXup was not ready for that one, as now only FGB trying to spam through this squeaky door, but he's in a bad spot here.
And looking at the money of neXup too, they're still in that temptation phase to force buy or save up. So they do lose this one. Good amount of players surviving for SKDC. And being that this is a slightly CT-sided map, they need to win this half, and neXup potentially has already done enough damage to give them a good shot in the next. But what's the decision for neXup? It looks like they want to force buy. This is dangerous for them, but they are battling for momentum. So they're betting a potentially okay half for an amazing half. If they can win this one and break the money of SKDC, then it's fantastic. And I feel like we see this decision more in Go than we do in any other iteration of the game.
Yeah, and I just want to let everybody know that this is the map choice of neXup. We got some people asking in chat and such. So neXup picking this map. They also banned off Overpass. SKDC banned Cobble and picked Mirage. And then the random third map is going to be Train. I'm with a lot of people in that neXup picking this map may have surprised me. That being said, they did have some decent scores against, for example, they beat Incursion 16-7 on this map. I still feel like SKDC on paper should be the stronger team here, as Ro4 and Else actually Else able to help out on that first frag, finds one of his own as well. It looks like they are going to rotate back to this B bomb site. But yeah, anyhow, to finish that thought, neXup looking really good here, as they're starting on the lesser favored side, but I would say that this is a good map for SKDC. So if they drop it, challenging a team on what can be considered one of their best maps, that could be a really nice, momentous way to start the match. But it's going to be Sync to take down Ro4 as they bust into the B bomb site. Else drops out of the vents, or at least I suspect he did. He's in B main. 2v3 on the retake here.
And they do still get the bomb done. Oh no, Shinobi was foe's only hope to sort of negate the numbers that are coming in for SKDC. SKDC need to take as a team. Never mind. Ocean says, it's Rambo time. I'm going to do this all by myself. Jump on top of this box and pretend my hitbox doesn't exist. That's how you do it sometimes in Go. Or in
exactly.
Counter-Strike in general. But SKDC moving up to their 4th round. Now as our neXup has to think about saving. They're still in that potential situation where they can continuously force buy, but now SKDC is at the point where it's probably not a good decision for neXup not to save up here. So with the amount of money, they can still go for Tech 9s and a couple of grenades to allow themselves an easier entry into either bomb site, and it looks like they have their eyes set on A this time. And SKDC have a lot of numbers in the area. Even thinking about pushing mid perhaps is Ro4, but SKDC, with this read where they could play 2 players at middle, they're playing a little soft on B, banking on their B player delaying a bit, and they can come through with the rotate, but now it's just going to allow them so many more numbers to A as neXup executes here.
Is not looking good for the T side at all. As JBM finds himself actually 2 frags before going down, so at the very least, they take 2 weapons out of the CT's hands and force a rebuy, the minimum that you're looking for there. But yeah, that was definitely a bit of a gamble by SKDC. The read was that potentially they're coming A. Let's just try and put more numbers to that side of the map. No, it wasn't necessarily that they had them in A. They had 2 in A, but Ro4 pushed way up in mid. And then they had another one that was kind of lurking around highway. But
yeah,
creates
so instead
a
of a
really,
stack,
really quick
it's like
rotate.
a slightly weaker
Exactly.
B-side,
Yeah, that would be
but potentially
the one
way
less.
stronger A. I like the read though.
Yeah, it ended up working really well for them, and we'll see what they decide to do in this round, as it looks like it's a bit of a different look. They've got Else posted up inside of vents, so they'll have a little bit more of the B-side defense. Stewie2K not all alone in that situation, and
this
moving
is
near
top-tier
A.
defense, man. This
This
is
is looking
top-tier
good.
defense I'm seeing from SKDC, because not only are they providing different looks, it's almost similar. It's like, it's almost dissuading neXup for like trying something different, because if SKDC allows neXup a certain angle, I mean, neXup is not going to have any sort of read on it. Now we see Els already pushed up
this
into
is
the
nuts.
CT side of mid. Based upon this strategy, this is absolutely insane from him. He gets a free frag onto FGB, looks about mid, gets the spot onto Bo, but Bo gets the kill and then gets assistance from his teammate, and now gets the flank onto Connector. This is unfolding crazily. Unfortunately, wait a minute though, neXup, oh, they get 1 for 1, but still, now JBM. Left alone in the 1 versus 2. That looks so promising for neXup, the way things were unfolding, though.
Yeah, Else had a big crucial role in kind of sending that strategy away, but it's going to be JBM to drop out through the vents, heads into checkered. Stewie2K lurking and waiting for him. But yeah, no, that honestly looked the way that he got, I'm trying to think, it was Bo in mid that was underneath the boost. He found the frag on Else, and then behind him they tried to take him down from basically mid, and he had JBM up on the boost, I believe it was, and was able to actually get that frag and protect him. So yeah, neXup, it looked pretty darn good when they had all that coordination in mid, but eventually it did diminish. So no fun for them, but SKDC moving up to 6 rounds here.
This is great for them, considering the start that neXup had. Losing 1 more player is neXup. Over towards the B side, got the bomb down way back in their warehouse at mid. And Chad, I just love this from SKDC. The different looks they provide, I think a certain site impossible to hold, just stacking certain bomb sites. So if neXup tries something, that's when SKDC is going to have like numbers in that scenario. If not, they can rotate on over, and as long as their sole player at that 1 bomb site that's alone plays well, then their retake should be successful. And I think a lot of teams on the CT side get lured into playing the more defensive, stagnant, default type route based upon the results that they're getting in practice, you know, being a little shaky. But when it comes down to match time, if you can throw those little monkey wrenches, little differences into the other team's heads, then I mean that's when we're going to see these type of comebacks happen. And neXup, since SKDC has been throwing these little adjustments in, hasn't been able to get around.
Yeah, no, and that's the big part to point out is we got 5 rounds in a row, and round 7, yeah,
And
neXup
we
got around.
haven't seen SKDC try something similar. Like, everything's been different for them each round, slightly.
Yeah, they've got a lot of variation, and I think that's why they do such big things on cash, as they've just got a lot of variety to provide. And we're going to see them actually push up mid here. Ro4 right underneath the boost, takes down 1. FGB will be able to trade, but Ocean there to help out, and they actually land an incendiary the moment FGB goes down. So there's no potential for another T to get up in that boost and provide a little bit more of a threat. They're going to rotate slowly over towards B main. They have the bomb over there. That's going to be Shinobi, and Stewie2K actually spots him out. So they know the location of the bomb. They don't have anybody pushed up too far mid So if they rotate out, they might be able to work something else. Still a minute left on the clock, but it does look like they are going to commit here as Foe heading for pick in mid. And if he's patient, he might be able to get Ocean. Ocean actually tags him. Doesn't like what he sees, though. Won't finish the frag and hops away. As again, we will slowly move into this B-bomb site.
You have to worry about Els, though. Oh, Els does give away his position, but it's for a flash from his teammate. The teamwork from SKDC. Wait a minute, though. JBM still has something to say left in the round. He does trade out. Almost immortal. Whoa, we might have a 1-on-4 here as Ocean goes down to JBM, and now Slemmy wants to follow up in the same position of his teammate. I like this decision from him. It's going to come down to, can JBM hit this flick shot? Slemmy, oh no, Slemmy gives away his position from it. JBM finishes it off for the 1 versus 4. Oh my.
That was
this
insane.
guy, the flashbang came through, but he still just capitalized on it. That looked like SKDC had the perfect advantage to finish off that round. But JBM, somehow, from the depths of defeat, just brings it back.
That's gotta hurt the most for, like, Els, for example. The guy that leapt out of the vents and so nearly finished the spray down on him, and then other players died to him. That's just, it leaves you just, it's a terrible feeling. It really is. Because you know you could have made that difference.
It makes you want to turn into that guy in MM who's like, come on, guys, I killed 4 and we still lost. Right? Come on.
Can you guys pull some weight? God. How dare they? But, no, that was impressive, though. JBM, huge clutch for him, and unfortunately, he will go down as the first blood in this round as he peeks up into A main. Ocean was pushed up with Slemmy. So nice play by them to gain an early advantage. And we can see that SKDC likes to do that, but it's pretty calculated when they do. It's not just randomly throwing aggression, other than maybe that one highlight moment where you're like, Stewie, 2K, this is probably not a good thing. Maybe that situation where he didn't have any teamwork, that kind of stuff. But otherwise, they usually have these two-man aggression working out really well for them.
And this is what I love to see from the CT side. I'm going to hold that thought for a moment, though, is neXup want to take in towards the B side. They do trade. Now 3 for 3 coming through the vents. On the flank, though, is Ocean. Perfect timing, leaving only Sinks here down to the 1 versus 1. neXup are going to need another stellar moment from one of their players here. This time, Synced instead of JBM. In a very similar 1 versus 1, actually, against the same player. So can Sync come out on top? No, this time Slemmy is going to make for that 1 versus 1 failure. But even though SKDC has allowed neXup to get to the 7th round, tie it up, I have to give a whole lot of tribute to their CT side. We don't see a lot of teams do this anymore. It's like the way the meta has developed now. On the CT side, if your default works, you default again. But what SKDC is doing, if the default works, then, I mean, try something. Or not the default, but if your crazy push works, why not slightly adjust it, move one player to a different position, and provide just that little adjustment in a different look for the T side. And I think that's why their comeback is happening.
Yeah, and a lot of strategies you could even say, like, if you look at, I'm going to use football. I'm not necessarily a giant football fan, but I got to imagine that a lot of their plays are very similar. It's just little tweaks here and there. And that's what
American
makes
chat. Are you talking about soccer or football?
No, I'm talking about actual football, like actual NFL football and such, with their playbooks and such. You're going to have a lot of plays that are very similar, but slightly different. But we're going to hold that thought as they're going to just storm onto this A-bomb site, find 2 frags early. Ruru able to find 1 for himself, but so much action around him that he's going to have to wait for his teammates here, and he will be able to do so as Els finds 1, but then he's dropped by FGB from Forklift. Stewie 2K and Ruru. Stewie 2K finds the first, but his teammate goes down 1-on-2. As both these players are actually stuck at quad, and stuck, I use that word loosely, as they are not in a terrible position, but it's going to be Foe, ends it with the AWP frag. Stewie 2K goes down, and neXup, they put up a really good T side. Again, I guess that's even more credit to them, being that we saw those kind of cool things out of the CT side of SKDC.
And I have to chalk it up to neXup's firepower rather than their overall strategy.
Right.
So, I mean, you had, how many times do we see Sync come into a site and entry without an answer?
All right, guys, we are back. Sorry for the technical hiccup. That it was definitely on our end. That a lot of times it's not, but that definitely was. So we apologize. Internet on
Don't
our
dissuade,
producer's
Chad.
machine.
It was our fault.
It happens, but anyhow, guys, we are back into it, 10-7. Luckily, these guys were good enough to pause things for us. I don't think you guys missed too. I honestly don't know when the stream went offline. Me and John were still casting. So anyhow, live around.
That's
18.
the way we communicate in general, though, Chad. We just talk about games whenever we hang out.
It's true. It's true. You should hear us. We just cast in person to each other. We actually get kicked out of libraries all the time because it'd be a shout. True story. Anyhow, we're gonna see.
I'll take that as a compliment. I haven't been to a library in some time.
It works out, but looks like we're going to see an A-side play, possibly. Ruru's posted up outside of Squeaky, else actually receiving a boost here. Actually, the bomb rotating back. It's on the Slemmy's back at the moment, and we'll see where they decide to actually commit, but at the moment, they're actually sending a little bit of a fake with Ocean towards the B-bomb site, but Foe takes off the head of Stewie2K, opens up the round, and this stack may work out, depending on where these T's end up. It does look like they will head back towards B, though.
Yeah, you're left with the decision to make, like, do you think that the other team is going to relinquish their stack on a certain bomb site based upon the information that you've given them? Kind of like a rock, paper, scissors match, but SKDC are going to lose more players as they enter in towards the B side. Still one player to beat. Oh, Synced with a flank. Decimating the squad of SKDC. Only one man up, and they might allow him to get the bomb down. In this situation, you need to get the bomb down. No, he's going to go for the win. Else. We've seen this guy go crazy in our tournaments before, but what are you thinking in that scenario? Are you going to 1 versus 4 with 14 HP, or are you going to give your teammates the potential to buy next round? The decision is obvious, and the wrong choice made by Else. Him to get the bomb down.
Yeah, and that was actually third round victory for the CT side. So working the forced up pistol armor, and it works out great. Actually, they did have a scout on the field on Foe as well. And again, now maybe a little bit of momentum towards them as the T's will be rebuying. So it's actually a pretty crummy one if you ask me, but they still want to keep the pressure on the CTs, and that's going to be the name of the game as they head up towards mid. Shinobi working a boost, and he takes off. Or he doesn't take off the head of Else. Does take him down, though, as he peeks out of the vents. They're going to try and collide here on the A-bomb side, though. Coming up from Highway. 2 kills from Stewie2K. Finally, FGB fires back. Now it's only Shinobi, and Ruru takes him down. 2K on the round. And, wow, SKDC, they storm our way through that one.
So 11-8 now for SKDC. Looking at neXup. At that point, I'm always talking about where it's tempting to buy, and I don't know with this decision. The next round, if they would have been able to have everything that they desire. So you're sacrificing your potential comeback for this round. And now SKDC, this is, in my mind, what they wanted from neXup. We don't see them going for anything hasty, anything too crazy, and instead just going to take things slowly. And neXup, with this buy, if they play default versus SKDC, it's probably going to be SKDC that comes out on top. So what does neXup do in this situation? Try to go for some sort of opening gambit to claim the advantage for your team, but instead, the slow default work from SKDC that is both default as well as anti-eco just works out in their favor tremendously.
Yeah, that was great. Slemmy waiting for that boost to come over, and Stewie2K finding the person who actually boosted him in mid as well. So now 3-on-5 as they slowly head over to this B-bomb site. Synced, not the weapon you really want to try and fend this off. He's got a FAMAS in hand. Might be able to take down Slemmy as he's got 27 HP. If they run past without checking, he could get a lot done. If they don't, I think he's probably dead immediately. Stewie2K takes his head off. FGB, JBM left to try and fend off as JBM finds one. And there's actually 2 Ts that are very low, so be able to take those players down pretty easily, but they are getting the bomb set. JBM does find Stewie2K. Slemmy, his head is spotted from FGB. It's a 2-on-2 as now Ruru, Ocean left to try and fend this off. Ruru goes down immediately, but Ocean trades 1-on-1. JBM versus Ocean. Nice pop flashes. They're both fully widescreen, but clearly Ocean doesn't affect him as much. And that's going to be another round for SKDC, 12-8. as they hold off that bomb site. And that was a nice attempted
I
retake,
love
though,
the
from
end of that
neXup.
round. I love the end of that round by both of the players. JBM sees the pop flash of Ocean and decides to take the fight. Ocean, all he had to do was survive that initial barrage from JBM and then peek out, guarantees that JBM is blind. Both players playing it perfectly. However, JBM missed his incredibly narrow window of opportunity to finish that round. And instead, if he misses that, it goes to Ocean. Oh, one of those very decisive parts of the round as Ro4 open us on to Shinobi, and now everybody stacked towards the A-bomb site, trying to rotate through mid. SKDC with the decision this round to head towards B, grouping up, having a player linger around at middle, making sure nobody from neXup can flank immediately and disrupt their take in towards B. And how many times have SKDC taken fast towards B? Not that many times. So for them to do it on in what are the chances neXup is going to stack the bomb site? Very slim. So again, I love the decision making of SKDC.
Yeah, good stuff, as we will see. Number of players still left up for the CT side. JBM saving his P250 armor. Foe, not really sure what he's saving, as he still has a USPS. Might be able to find an exit. He's looking around for it, but actually does spot Els, but Els puts him away. So won't be able to find anything in the other round. FGB has an AK. JBM with his P250. We got another pause coming in, but immediately unpause. Best kind of pause, as
Right. This time it's not our fault, guys.
this is not our fault at all. It was kind of a surprise that you guys didn't witness it, but we were like, oh, pause comes in. We're like, wonder what the pause is about. And then we get our manager's
Oh, yeah.
name
Whenever a
pasted
pause
in the
comes
chat.
through, both Chad and I just fall apart.
Yeah.
This is something we least want to deal with. And we have to bear with it with you guys. And it looks like neXup is going to be the team that have to deal with it. Chad, I hope
weird.
you're more informed than I.
I'm just a little confused because they started the pause saying that their communications lagged out, their mumble or what have you. And then they're just like, actually, never mind, it's fine. And then now, never mind, it did go out, and then Shinobi left the server. I don't really know what's going on. It looks like FGB, though.
Extracurricular pause.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
I'm not certain what's going on there, but obviously their team communication is definitely required, and looks like Shinobi's back, and we're ready to rock. So, once again, a short run. I like it, as 13-8. SKDC is looking really primed to take this map, and moving on to Mirage. Although I think neXup does have a decent chance. I don't know, SKDC, they're pretty solid on that map as well. And Ro4 is looking pretty darn good. Although he's at the bottom of the score sheet, him and Stewie2K, those are ones that I'm kind of looking out for. If they're playing well, I feel like those are the ones that are kind of the extended arms of the SKDC lineup. The rest are pretty core, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. But round 22 underway, and looks like they're going to slowly work towards a bit of a slower round here from SKDC.
Yeah, them opening up with a default look for neXup to take a peek at, and now opening up with a Molotov into vents. Shinobi with a perfect read on the scenario, however. He eats the Molotov and then goes back towards A as if he has the read that SKDC is going A, and he's correct with this decision. But wait a minute, SKDC taken in. JBM gets one, traded off by Stewie2K. The rotate from neXup is there, but is it strong enough? They do trade out in their favor. Still yet to get the bomb down is SKDC. It's a big round for them. They could potentially close the match out right here. Slemmy finishes off Foe, realizing that they don't have to plant the bomb immediately. They're going to go for the kills. Ocean, now last player up, as Sink takes down Slemmy, and ooh, this man can headshot when the time is right. So now 13-9. neXup do win another round, but I was trying to get into what I thought about both these teams. Sorry, you're going to have to wait a minute, Chad. This is going to be a little long-winded.
Love to hear it, man.
But from what I'm seeing from SKDC, they're going to win this match. Based upon how they're adapting versus what they're seeing of neXup, they're reactionary, whereas neXup is just going off not non-reactionary decisions, lacking a correct word to describe that. But SKDC is going to be able to close this out. I'm looking at 16-12.
And I think you were getting at where some players might have like the muscle memory of what to do next. It's more rigid and reaction, or one's playing more reactional and the other one's playing a little bit more rigid. Is that kind of what you're getting at?
Yes.
More set stratish. Anyhow, Foe pushing through Squeaky, takes down Ro4. Nice shot, as we'll be able to find the advantage here. And SKDC again, they're getting very close to the finish line of this map number 1. Next up, they do have a really good set of equipment to deal with this round as FGB lands onto Stewie2K. Now, the jig is up. They know it's going to be a B bomb site play as they flash their way in. Ocean with 2.
Wow.
JBM and Synced, as now FGB up in heaven, thinking about going for something, but I think it's wise for him to wait for his team, as we talked about previous L's and his commitment when they were on the CT side. He's going to wait around, and now they have 3 members completely to try and retake.
Yeah, this is a prime setup for the SKDC side, in my opinion. Wow, the player can't finish him into spawn. Ocean! That's 3 for him. Potentially looking at the ace. He's going to have to do it to win. No, neXup is going to finish it off, and Ocean, it looked like he was going to hit the ace there. If he could have survived, taken the CT player out, went into spawn, it should have been around for them. We see the bomb almost ticked green before the defuse comes through. But really close stuff for SKDC, and it seemed like you were favoring the neXup positioning, eventually right, but I liked SKDC's positioning in that. Even though they lost that round, I think they made the better decisions, and I guess that's just more a Counter-Strike, right?
That's exactly right. As, yeah, no, they did have good post-plant. I just, for some reason, FGB was highlighting what he was all about there, probably
Chad,
because we were
stop
in a 1v1
being nice.
server.
Let yourself
today.
be right.
No,
were right.
in all reality, we actually were in the same server playing 1v1s today, and he was taking off my head left, right, and center. I'd get like one in and then talk so much mad crap, because that's what you do when you're not a skilled player. But anyhow.
Who's that?
FGB.
Oh.
Yeah, we were having a good time earlier today, but nonetheless, we see a B-bomb site play underway. As a lot of equipment on the T side, but Stewie2K actually manages to make it all the way into the site, as the smoke's prohibiting the vision of the CTs, but Synced alive inside of the checkered. He will be able to take down 2 Ro4. Takes him down thereafter, though, and JBM did not see that one coming, as Stewie2K posted up. Unorthodox angle, and now a 2-on-2, as it's only FGB and Foe left.
Yeah, Stewie2K, the ninja Usain Bolt move into the bomb site. Makes it down to a 2-on-2, and now thinking about boosting into the vents. I don't know if they know that neXup is on the other side. It looks like Stewie2K is well aware. Takes the fight, loses it to FGB, leaving only Ro4. Capable player, but with a bomb down inside of the vents. FGB taking up a perfect role. However, I don't like it his decision to give away his position with the flashbang there, but it doesn't look like Ro4 was aware enough via the flashbang to deal with it. And FGB is going to finish it off. Now we got a good match on our hands as neXup looking to guarantee the control. However, the amount of damage inflicted upon both of these teams on each other, there's no, like, these teams are going to be force buying or saving no matter what happens in these next rounds. So this next one, so important, as if SKDC drop it, neXup's going to be moving in on that territory of tying it up. And on a more CT-sided map, gotta favor neXup if they can win this round.
And we're going to see Ocean gets brought down to 27 early on, as they're actually spamming through the middle grate there. That's JBM. Some good stuff, but Shinobi, he will get dropped down to about 22 as well, so kind of evens out here as the T's shifting over towards the A-bomb site. At the moment, it's only Foe ready and waiting. He's got a quick rotate, and JBM is on highway, Synced inside of Z connector as well. But Synced is going to be smoked off. This might actually prevent him from wanting to rotate through that smoke, just in case there's someone up on the boost or something to that effect. But the squeaky door is open. Now Foe knows what is going on here as they toss a Molotov out. And JBM just waiting for Ro4 to peek from that location. Synced actually going to replace him here, as they're still worried about mid, and I can't really blame them, as a lot of times the A takes will have a highway component, but Ocean goes down. That's JBM finding him in mid, and now the strategy kind of falling apart here.
Yeah. I'm trying to work a mid to A split, problem being their A, or I mean, excuse me, their mid take was their prong of an initiation and distraction for them, but still recovering with shots. It doesn't matter if you can hit your opponents. So now down to a 2 versus 2 here. Get the bomb down, but it's not in a favorable position. Oh no, Shinobi onto Slemmy. Slemmy needed that frag, only down to 22 HP. Shinobi thinking about going for it all. Oh, trades off his teammate. I love that decision by Shinobi. He was looking at a 10-second defuse. Instead of just trying to stick it and hope his teammate wins, he gets off of the bomb, peeks with his teammate, and guarantees the trade. He's only down at 22 HP. That could have easily went the either way. But now, or went the other way, excuse me. But now we have a good situation here for neXup. Same situation, however, as SKDC continuously makes it expensive for the neXup side to win rounds. Same on their opposition, but look at the amount of money left on each team after this one. This is gonna, for me, decide whether neXup is gonna, have a chance this map. If SKDC win this one, neXup money is gonna be broken. For SKDC, however, they can afford to lose this one, save the next one, and still have a chance to win out on the gun rounds. But wait a minute, SKDC trying to bust into the A bomb site, eating a heavy flashbang. Now their take is staggered. Shinobi with the first frag with the CT side. That's FGB with another one. Still trying to pry their way into the bomb site, but FGB is going to hold sound. That's going to be 3 frags for him as SKDC try to enter in. He's taking the fight under Ro4 before he can even peek onto connector, just shooting through the wall. This man is eating so many flashbangs, but he's still hungry for the kills. Still going for it. But Sync is going to tie it up for the neXup side. 13-13 now. And SKDC went for the buy. Question is, do they ever save in this scenario? Tech9 kind of buy. It's a good decision for them.
Especially with full loss bonus, they'll have around 2,000, and yeah, they should have enough to buy in the next round. So not a bad idea as they...
Oh yeah, they're looking at 5K.
Yeah, they'll be in a good spot here. As you do see smokes across the board. Ro4 the only one without. And a ton of flashbangs as well. So it looks like they're going to head over towards the A bomb site. Foe pushed up inside of A main. He's going to miss that shot as Slemmy comes up the ramp there. Stewie2K was actually posted up in a position that may have been able to take him out. But now the smokes come in, and FGB holding from the fence area. He is a critical aspect of this play. It is going to be him to find the first frag, but Else trades him off, and now he's getting the bomb set inside of the smoke. Foe can't find him, finally does, but Ro4 was there to fire back, so 3-on-2 as they're getting the round might actually go the T's way.
Now just Sync left in the 1 versus 2 as Shinobi gets 1 for 1. Now trying to make his way in. Problem being the bomb is planted at a highly disadvantageous angle. Goes for the fake ninja defuse. He's got to watch over the flank coming on through in just a moment. Sync does it! And he's barely going to have enough time to get the bomb defuse in. neXup claiming a critical round, 14-13. That's big stuff from Sync. Former teammate of mine, and if you let this guy heat up, he's going to be a problem. If you let this guy get confident, it was a problem on our team for him, because if he got too confident, he'd go too crazy. It's kind of a bridled beast that you have to contain.
Right, you just build yourself up to the point where you're usually the one that's going to have to tear yourself down as you end up just kind of getting way too confident. We'll see if that comes into play as the CT is getting very aggressive up the B side, and this is such a bold move from neXup, and we'll see if it pays off. Else is going to put down 2 of them. Doesn't expect the JBM is still around. We'll be able to take him down, so 3-on-4. As I got a feeling SKDC, they might be a little bit hesitant to go over towards B, as they know JBM still could be posted up. But if they send maybe 2 players over, they might be able to work a trade. Slemmy, what a peek as JBM goes down. And now the B bomb site, other than FGB on a quick rotate here, he's the only one able to try and fend this off.
Only player over to, oh man, he goes down, leaving only Foe. So in this scenario, let's take a look at the money. Is it worth it for him to go for this? No, not at all. Needs to save this. He's not going to be able to do so. So SKDC taking the round that evens it back up 14-14. And this match is getting incredibly close between these two teams. Now neXup tasked with the decision. Do they save up or go for the W? It looks like they want to go for the tie. Problem being, they're going to win, or they're going to lose what? 2 rounds in a row, 2 rounds of loss bonus, even buying up this little bit here is going to be a massive hindrance to their nades, armor, everything that they need to win the next round. So buying anything here, if you're going to save absolutely. Don't buy up guns here and there. And you know what? I'm going to call it 16-14 for SKDC, or unless neXup can do something crazy. I'm
so
going
mad that he's going to predict the other team wins. Hold him back.
I'm trying to cast
back.
or curse this so badly. Like, I don't like this decision so much from neXup. It's like selfish and greedy in a way. Like, if you understand the mathematics behind the game and you know the probability, this is the horrible decision. Chad, take it away. I'm done.
We'll see if it works out, as looks like we are going to see an A-side play. JBM very close, and it's FGB to find the first Deagle frag as Stewie2K goes down, and now they're thinking about rerouting as they've actually sent Ro4 already up mid here. Saint is going to try and fend them off, and he finds one, but traded. And now they will eventually head back into this A-bomb site, but nice little move there as it's going to be Foe to take down Ocean, so 2-on-3. As this is doable, especially with Slemmy down as low as he is. He's at default box, and anything, any kind of damage. Oh, FGB just barely misses him as he comes out, but finds the second headshot, and he gets Else as well. Are you joking me? And I hate to say it, Laser, if he didn't have that Deagle, I don't know what do you do there. I'm joking, dude. That's going to be neXup winning the round, though. Good stuff
Chad,
from them.
You're going to make me vomit here. This is not okay.
Oh, man. I think to neXup, though, I think it is okay, as they moved up to 15. They're going to be happy about that one.
They're on the verge of taking this map now. It is on the back of those pistols. Is that a misplay from SKDC? The way they peeked into A, a little unsafe.
I thought it was good because it pulled players off, but as soon as I thought that it was good, they honestly got demolished. Like the moment I was about to highlight, I'm like, oh, cool how they did that.
It looked good, but where were the trade, or there was no trade potential with that first A kill.
Yep, and then it all kind of fell apart from there on out as neXup, they really want this win. So even in a situation like that, obviously everybody wants to win, but they were hunting and ended up finding it. Now they're in a really good spot at a rifle-to-rifle round, but they need to hold B as Foe set up with his op, and Synced is going to be smoking off front sight to try and provide some cover for himself, but the mollies are raining in, and here it comes.
Here they come inside of the B-bomb site here. Synced and company left to fend this off. Ro4, oh man!
Wow.
The jumping shot onto Synced. That should not be allowed, but it happened. There's no position for us to question it in our current state of the game, though. neXup, 2-on-4, trying to avoid overtime. SKDC well on their way to guaranteeing that one-for-one trade as FGB tries to enter in towards the checkers. JBM, instant dink onto Stewie2K, but AK is dominant for that reason. And we're all tied up now. neXup. I mean, I think this is, you know, some sort of cosmic justice that this has happened, because there's no way. I'm sorry, Chad, they shouldn't have won that round. I'm sticking to my guns here.
No, and I completely understand. It's just when it actually does work out for them, you just... yeah, it's funny how it can work out. It's when bad plays, it's like a guy comes into a fight and never keeps his hands up. It's a terrible play that he's making, but he could swing and hit the guy and just knock him out and win. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many bad things that can produce good results.
Some guy trips and falls on his head or something.
Exactly. Or I've even seen it before that some guy goes for some sort of judo takedown and he lands on his own head and he knocks himself out. That's happened more times than I think I've watched.
There was a recent UFC fight where that happened, where he goes for like a hip toss and just bashes his own head in. Yeah,
you can just land really, you can land really weird that way. So again, it's where you didn't set it up properly, and it really did. That's where it definitely hurts you. But anyhow, yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's a bit of a chance, and I do like the way you talk about it, though. It's not a lot of people will. They kind of let go the fact that you're spending money in that round, that if you want to win that round, spend all your money. If you're not going to win that, like, if you're going to save for the next, then make sure you save everything for the next. But,
yeah, look at the odds behind it. Say you're at, what, 30% chance. That's a little generous. Like 20% chance of winning that eco round with nothing. Is it worth spending, you know, 40% of your money to increase your chances by, you know, a couple percent, maybe even 10%? I don't think so. But in a game as random as this, it can sometimes work out. But going back to our tendency to favor the European side of things, I think that's why, in general, they're the more successful side.
Could definitely be attached to that as we see overtime now going live. SKDC will start off on the T side, as that's the side they left off on. And again, if you guys are unfamiliar with how the format works in overtime, they play 3 rounds on either side. And first team to make it to 19 will win. They both make it to 18. We do another overtime. So that's kind of the general overview, and they start with 10,000 on each side. So we'll see how this goes. As you can see, Foe, for example, he goes down to 2,500 buying an op and full nades. So yeah, there's a lot of money spent, and if they lose this round, he's all of a sudden in a really bad spot. So op is where you can really drain your economy early, but it is obviously a very powerful weapon. So it's good for them if they make it work.
His op is named I'm Rattlesnake, too, so he's trying to implement a former god of the weapon.
There you go.
If that's going to work out for him. He's the sole player of neXup towards single bomb site here. Now, SKDC want to hit up towards B. Slight distraction over towards the B side. This looks like it should work out for them unless Foe can get more than one. Only gets one, and then Stewie2K gets the middle player. Quickly traded off, but that trade's a bit too late, as now SKDC will be allowed to set up as they please as the bomb goes down.
It's going to be FGB who drops through the vents. He spots out Slemmy immediately and should be able to get this trade on Else. Wow. It's a 2-on-1. Quick action there is now Ocean left the default pipe box. He's got players coming from either side as FGB is going to peek out slightly from Checkered, make himself hard to hit as JBM will peek out from CT and actually find the frag. So some good coordination there as neXup will be able to find their first CT round. And on any map that is slightly favored, I think Dust 2 probably the only one that I can really think of that 3 rounds on each side. You can kind of go back and forth a little bit, but with a CT-sided map, yeah, this one's fairly even, but it is still CT-sided. You want as many T rounds as you can get, and neXup, they're going to have a sigh of relief as they take that first one on their CT half.
Yeah, it's a nice breath of oxygen for them, winning their first one when it looked like they are on the brink of losing it. So now the adjustment from SKDC looks like they just want to continue their default style for neXup, boosting a player into vents and then bringing a player back towards the A-bomb site. And this is the strength of this setup on the CT side of Cash, is if your terrorist opponents do not execute fast, it allows this setup to be very safe, because now neXup have an additional player they can rotate towards A, never mind as he drops out of vents, but that's the idea behind it. And now here comes SKDC into the A-bomb site.
JBM under Ruru, Stewie2K on FGB, so 1-1 as actually JBM finds his second of the round, and Ocean's going to boost up on Redbox, takes him down. So finally it will be a 3-on-3. But no one really around to help out Foe. They're going to be coming up on the flank, and this could definitely catch SKDC off guard as Ocean goes down as soon as he peeks in towards A main. So the call-out will be there. How does Slemmy and Else deal with it as Slemmy goes down to Shinobi in A main? Else tries to peek out and find a one-on-one, but instead finds Synced, and I believe that was Foe right behind him as well. So not so fun there for neXup as they, or sorry, for SKDC as yet again we will drop another round here, and we're getting close here for neXup to find a clean sweep on their CT side, and then they're only looking for that one round on their T half.
Yeah, and 3-1, based upon how the scores have been happening, neXup should win one on the T side. Granted, you can make the same point for SKDC as they should have won one on their T side, still with the potential. But neXup, yeah, on the verge of closing it out 3-0 on their CT side. Are they going to make any adjustments? Looks like they want to stack 2 mid early, and for SKDC, they want to take into B or A quickly. They have Ro4 going to be getting boosted up. neXup thinking about aggressing up mid, potentially boosting on top of the road. Now here comes the split from SKDC, but it's staggered. Now they're going to fall back to mid. SKDC with a whole lot of ideas. Now being spotted out at mid, trying to boost another player up. They do trade 1-for-1, but oh, Shinobi lurking into the CT spawn. But now SKDC is continuing their pressure into A. Only one guy left to beat here, and that's going to be Foe.
Yeah, With his op in hand, needs to come up really, really big as they know where he's at. And Else comes around the corner, just spamming his AK. And Shinobi goes down simultaneously, so only synced 1v4. Finds the first one. Almost sprays down the second onto Stewie2K, but won't be so. So we got 2 rounds for neXup on the CT side. SKDC, they definitely wanted to get through that with at least 1 round to play with. And they're able to secure their 1T side round. So we'll see how things go, as again, if neXup wins 1, and SKDC can bring 2 on their CT side, we'll see a second overtime here. But neXup does have a bit of a lead, but they are now on the lesser favored side.
Just a minor lead. But I guess as far as overtime is concerned, if you can bring in 2 rounds before your T side comes through, I guess that's even the way it should be done. You couldn't close out 3-0.
Yeah, that would have been great for them. But
we need to win 3-0 for them to close out this OT. So neXup, not in an entirely cozy position, but still a good one nonetheless. So now what's the adjustment from them for their first gun round? When you have your first gun round of overtime on the T side, you have the ability to entirely ignore everything you did on the in regulation rounds on your T side and try to open up with a gambit that the CTs have no idea that's coming. Are we going to see that? I'm not too sure. They are heading with a majority of their players over towards the B bomb site. Is it going to be fast or slow? I'm not too sure. Foe leading the charge with the AWP. Nobody there to peek them from the SKDC side. They do have Ro4 already up in vents, and that's from middle. So the fact that neXup provided no pressure on middle has allowed Ro4 free take into mid here. And for neXup, they have to somehow be ready for this vents angle, because if they execute into B and their attention is focused, oh, they get him out of the vents. Now they have the pincer on him. This is amazing from neXup. I love this first round gun round.
Yeah, that's bread and butter cash right there. I love seeing that play, and they execute it to a T. Now they got a B bomb site to play with. This Shinobi still posted up in mid, takes down 2. My God. SKDC got absolutely outplayed in that round, and I'm not afraid to say so, as they post up in vents, and that's what you need to be worried about, is if you're in vents, the hard counter to that is put someone in that window room, in the useless room, sunroom, whatever you want to call it. Put someone there. It was foe in that round with his op. Send that molly in, and some player is going to find his way out, and that's exactly what we saw.
It's so perfect from them. Like, they have the players inside of Sunshine ready. As long as those Sunshine players hit that shot as that player is dropping, that should be checkmate, because now suddenly neXup has everybody in position to take into the A bomb or the B bomb site, and 1 versus 5, good luck inside of B.
And now they just need to be playing very carefully here, as we do see a boost could be underway as Ro4 standing on the shoulders of Slemmy, and they are going to hop up here. Shinobi at the worst possible second decides to pull out his knife, and that's where they get those frags as they boost through. It is a 3-on-3 though. Slemmy takes down foe as the round now falling apart. FGB and synced with a minute to work with here, and Slemmy posted up in mid. He's going to fall back to sandbag, so back to safety more or less, as Stewie2K going to be holding down B, Ro4 on A. And they're just doing a 1-1-1 with those 3 players, and it's a bit of a risk in itself, but Slemmy takes down FGB, and now it's a 1-on-3, synced, fully blind here. And the way he just fell off, Slemmy has got to have hurt him at that vents position, as Ro4, can he take him down? Sync lands, and with 10 HP, it would be a miracle, but he could make it happen, but it won't be so. Stewie2K takes him away, and now we are 1 round away from either neXup taking map number 1, or SKDC pushing this to overtime number 2.
Decision by neXup there. You're in a 2 versus 3, so you either split up and bank on your sole player without the bomb, creating a disadvantageous position for your opposition, for your bomb player to hit a bomb site hopefully empty, or you stick together and try to trade out before the CT in that position to can make it a 2-on-2. We saw them go for the latter. And now neXup with their last round of overtime, trying to hit up middle, but SKDC have so many numbers in this position. neXup are going to go down, and it looks like we are going to see double overtime here on the first map of Cash, unless foe can do Some crazy work. So he is posted up inside of the mid warehouse, has eyes on bomb, but no eyes on any CTs. And how tentatively the CTs are playing mid, don't fancy his chances. Getting flashed, getting Molotoved, and getting spotted. Things are not looking good for our hero foe in this scenario. So moving on to double overtime now. Both teams going 3 for 3. Now neXup is going to be starting on the T side. I'm going to stop calling it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going to go on.
idea.
I think SKDC now does have an advantage. Any team, in my eyes, that starts on the CT side, because you have that ability to potentially, it is favored to you, close out and get 3-0. I feel like that's, you're kind of outclassing the other team if you can do that on the T side, get 3-0 against the other team. It's almost like, why did this go to overtime? That's in my eyes anyhow. It's usually not the case where we see a 3-0 on the T side. So I think SKDC, I think they're going to be feeling good here. They just came off of their CT side. They were able to get some rounds in, obviously, hence the reason we're going to the second OT. I think this is a good advantage for them, especially because neXup, they probably just utilized a lot of their kind of wild cards if they did have any, especially that Molotov in events, for example. That opened up a site completely for them as they were able to take into B, and not having that, who knows? Maybe they try and use it again. Quite honestly, it's a move that, even if you see it coming, if you still have a player inside of vents, you're still going to probably fall victim to it. It's very difficult to actually, unless you have a smoke, the only thing that I've seen players do to prevent that is you have a smoke and you drop it immediately as that Molotov goes down. It gives away that there's a player in there, but at least you don't have to drop into the clutches of the other team. But nonetheless, we got overtime underway. neXup on the T side. What can they make work here?
And they're very hesitantly making their way up to the A site. This has allowed SKDC to position a player in top of Gargoyle. And as long as he stays silent, this is not looking good for neXup. We see SKDC's positioning. Since they have this player in a very safe spot in top of A, they're trying to overcompensate for middle, and they do lose a player there. And now neXup coming in. Oh, wow. Instantly checked by neXup. The heads-up play, but right back at him from Slemmy. Rattling off 2 frags. Suddenly neXup left alone with 2 players here, still without the bomb down. Flank coming through. Flank from CT spawn. Everything looks like it's going to pan out for SKDC here.
Yes, now they're getting the bomb set. Actually, JBM goes for the fake and gets sent to the grave by Stewie2K. Else from A main takes down Synced as well. So quickly, we see SKDC off to a good start here. As, again, the opportunity to do that kind of clean sweep, it is viable on the T side, but it's more than likely going to happen on the CT half. So if SKDC can bring in 3, only 1 round required on that T half to bring things home. So we'll see if they can do it. Foe, once again, with his op in hand. And the T side and neXup. That round, not exactly. It was good that they found that player on boost kind of immediately, but obviously did not result in very good things for them at the end of the round. But heading towards B, they've got the bomb located in this situation. Foe's going to be opping in, and currently it's actually smoked off Else playing inside a checkered, but he does have Ro4 up on mid-roof, which would provide for a very quick rotate through the vents into B.
Yeah, I like SKDC.
They do the molly trick again, but there's no one there, so interesting. Actually, Ro4 just stepped in it and went down to 29. They find the frag nonetheless, but yeah, I just want to highlight they tried it.
At least they tried it. But Ro4 here trying to come in through for SKDC. He gets flushed out of the vents position. Now SKDC, they got Ocean as well as Slemmy here. Last player's alive, bring it down to a 2-on-3. They're going to go for this. They did win the last run. They still got money to go for it. Ocean spamming through the... Oh, man, his teammate goes down, though, so that's Slemmy that falls. Ocean left alone, trades a whole lot of his HP for FGB. Trying to flash his way into the site. Oh, but Bo gets fully blind, but times out the AWP shot perfectly, which eliminates Ocean. So 19-19. Chad, let's go for a quintuple overtime here.
All right, let's just go for it. As might as well. Wouldn't be RGN
do you know
if there
anything
was an
past
overtime.
quintuple? I don't. I was just trying to sound smart there.
Quintuple overtime. I think we could probably make Quinn would be 5, correct?
No, Quinn. Yeah, Quinn's 5. I just got informed by Ricky that sextuple.
Oh God, we shouldn't be listening from vocabulary advice from Ricky. That's a bad idea. I'm just kidding.
It's actually true. It's actually true, though. It's actually true.
I realize it's true. I'm just joking. As Bo goes down, FGB gonna get dropped as well. JBM out of the situation, so it's only Synced and Shinobi left on the field, and they are on opposite parts on the map.
Synced and Shinobi here. Last member's up for neXup. Shinobi goes down. And now Synced, left alone with, come on, man. Why do you have this gun? Where does this gun go in any part of this map?
I don't know.
That makes this... Okay, you get boosted mid, you're looking at a potential AWP fight. You go towards... there's no route you take with the T-side auto sniper on cash that is going to be favorable to you unless your teammates take the site and then you're posted up for the CT's retake. All around horrible decision, and I'm glad he doesn't clutch it.
Oh man, the opinionated laser's coming out to play tonight.
I'm taking shots at my former teammate. He's been known to make these questionable decisions, and you know, I hope his team suffers the same rage as I did.
We will see. We will see. As
I'm
second
like
overtime.
28 days later when I play with Synced.
Anyhow, we are going to be moving into the second half of overtime here. So 20-19, our current score. And let's see if our math works here. We've got SKDC taking 2 on their CT side. neXup with only 1. They need to grab 2 more rounds. So 22 is what we're looking for. 21 would be tie territory, move us to another overtime. So neXup, they have their work cut out for them here as they are only at 19. And they need to basically clean sweep to take this or get 2, and we might see that triple overtime as we're just waiting for players to ready up.
Triple.
And it would be interesting to see the triple. That being said, it'd be interesting to see the next map as well. That being said, of course, we are eventually going to see that nonetheless, no matter how many overtimes we see here, as this is map number 1, and we are in the round of 4 currently. The winner will move into the upper bracket finals. So getting pretty close to the end of the NA qualifiers. Again, this is the qualifiers for our Pro Series. And
round of 4, huh? How many make it?
I believe 2 make it out of the qualifiers.
Just
Top
ruthless.
2 make it out of the qualifiers. So
we're so ruthless. Not only do we make everybody go through a best of 1 lower bracket, only 2 people make it out of our many team qualifier.
Yeah, exactly.
Just rough. Coarse people like here at RGN. Except for you,
rigorous.
You're just like a cuddly bear.
I'll take it. But yeah, no, definitely it's a lot of teams entering, only a couple making it out, and that is because we're getting the highest caliber up here. So we got a ton of tier 1 teams already in the NA Pro Series waiting for this qualifier to end. And then we've got, again, if you guys are unaware, it's $10,000 on each region, EU and NA, and they'll come together at the very end after those regions figure out their top teams. We'll have a championship where there is going to be $30,000, so $50,000 total.
Figure it out like some sort of committee.
What's that? The top teams?
You said figure it out like there's some sort of committee.
Oh, yeah, exactly. No, it will definitely be through results and not through a committee, as that would just be unfair. But 19-20, the current scoreline, and second half of second overtime now going live.
Yeah, here we go. SKDC, they're the team that is making the most adaptations in my eyes. But neXup, with these clutch scenarios, odd man situations somehow getting the better of SKDC. We'll see how it pans out. SKDC spread out from their mid split. They were trying to boost up as well as come out mid. However, shut down by a Molotov of neXup. Trying to come up on the boost spot now. SKDC quickly pivoting back towards the A bomb site. However, neXup already have numbers here to do with it. That's FGB from above onto Slemmy. Trades are there from SKDC, however, and neXup is going to finish off the round. SKDC eventually losing too many players as they enter into A. And neXup, with a good opening read on the round, they Molotov off the top of boost. SKDC looking to split 2-2, 2 boost, 2 through mid. Instead, neXup molly it off, focus all their attention on middle, and then SKDC. What decisions can they possibly make in that scenario? They can either continuously force through mid, rush into the arms of neXup, or they could do 3 players towards either bomb site, and they went towards A.
And now in this round, it is 20-20. Stewie2K up on the boost. He's going to spot towards mid. I believe he spotted out JBM, and he is going to try and take the duel here. Gets sent down to 9 HP. They do anything with the nade, he will send him away. The Kobe from long range as Stewie2K takes down JBM. So advantage to the T side as they leave Ocean near this B bomb site. They're going to send a molly over towards Checkered. See if he can flush anybody out, but it's going to be Foe to find Else. And that gives them a bit of a hint that although there's still some noise towards B, they need to be wary of this A bomb site as there will be some more action here. It's going to be Ocean, though. Gets Shinobi from behind, and now where do they go with things is the question, as it looks like still posted up for an A-side take.
Shinobi there. Bet the round on him pushing. If he doesn't get any kills mid there, it guarantees for SKDC that they know where neXup is in terms of their rotation. For neXup to push that player up mid and go for the flank means that there's very little players at A. So he's trying to help him out as fast as he can by going for that very risky rotate. But Foe is hanging on here from the side. He gets 2 of them. neXup is still in this. Foe with 3 big plays from Foe. Sole player inside of the A bomb site shuts things down, and that is exactly what neXup needed in that scenario. If Foe doesn't do that, neXup loses the round. Big ups to Foe there. Massive play.
Yeah, because as you were highlighting in Shinobi, the kind of the chances that he took going through mid, when you were explaining that, Synced was currently like walking through T-spawn as another player was pushing through mid. So they weren't really in a situation to help out. And if Foe doesn't get those, like you said, that definitely could have been the round. As there's so many numbers making it into the site, post-plant would have been very difficult. Although they would be on the flank, they both would have been, and the angles may not have been in their favor. But nonetheless, Foe, massive 4K for himself. And now they are 1 round away from closing things out here, as SKDC are now 1 round away from once again putting us into an overtime here, or another overtime rather, as they're working it very slow.
Be 4?
We would be on. No, this is still second, so that would be the third. This is still the second half of the second overtime. As
how dare you, Chad?
Let's see here. What? I'm sorry for correcting you, my friend, but the rounds at the top do not lie. As
no, they don't.
We are going to see a boost play, and they're going to take into mid here. Slemmy with the bomb on his back. They're going to try and split into this B bomb site, but 2 CTs ready and waiting.
Yeah, we both got Shinobi as well as Synced here. Could be a deadly duo. Both very young guns for both teams. Synced and Shinobi both get 1 apiece. And,
oh my God.
neXup on the verge of ending it. Just slept. This is 5 for him. He takes down the first 2, but only 7 HP. And he still somehow got to get the bomb down here. Foe. First engagement from the spawn, and it's going to be Foe. Foe real ends the match this time, 22-20. Double overtime victory for neXup.